Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, DX probably presumes. I'm just kidding. I'm not going down that route. It is the Dad Debate. Welcome to the Dad Debate. I am Michael Draper, joined by Matt, the champ Kirk, apparently, tonight. And for those of you that are new to the Dad Debate show, we're dads from Dads Watching Sports, and we have launched our second show, the Dad Debate. And this is 3 topics. 2 dads, 1 winner, 1 sipping out of a monogrammed Yeti as well tonight. How are you, Matthew? I gotta see what that.
I couldn't be better, Michael. This is my wife's initial. She's quite an arguer, so
There we go.
I'm kidding, honey. I love you. I love you.
I was gonna say that's a bold move right off the bat. So welcome to the Dad Debate. We are excited to have you a part of the show, whether you're streaming us live on the RTF network or the Dads Watching Sports Facebook pages. You can check us out there each and every Wednesday at 8:30, or if you're just checking us out wherever you download podcasts, we appreciate you doing that. And also, of course, you can check out Dads Watching Sports. It is Tuesdays and Thursdays on the RTF Sports Network at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. We want you to interact with us throughout the show tonight and throughout the week. So if you're watching, shoot us some comments. We're going to be debating a couple of topics, so we'd love to have your take as well. And we will bring that up during this show. So again, this is a little bit different format than our traditional show. This is just a half hour. We got 3 topics, 2 dads, and hopefully 1 winner. So Matt, before we get into our topics for tonight, one thing that I would be remiss if I didn't bring up, and that is, on our Dads Watching Sports show, you had a phenomenal idea a couple of weeks back where we were to do like a draft lottery of some professional teams. So we decided we'd go Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, and the NBA. So we would do a draft. We'd basically select the teams that were still eligible for the championship, and then we were going to see who had the best outcome of the season. And we placed some bets. Matt, do you remember? You remember us doing that?
No, I don't. I don't have any recollection.
Well, in case you don't remember, I've got it right here. So if you look, these were the results of our draft lottery. So Kyle there at the top drafted the San Diego Padres in baseball, the LA Clippers in the NBA, and the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL. Matt drew the Washington Nationals, the Miami Heat, and the Arizona Coyotes, while I drew the Dodgers, the Nuggets, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And so, Matt, just wanted to make sure you're familiar with the results and where things are standing as of today. I don't know if you can really see it. Let me take down our little banner here. But there you have our punishment. So for the Major League Baseball, it was $100 to charity of the winner's choice. For the NBA, the worst team who finishes the worst, that person has to paint their fingernails. And then the NHL, it's whoever finishes the worst has to record a commercial talking about how great the winner was. And Matt, just in case you weren't familiar with where we stand, here we are. And if you look all the way over there to the NHL, the Avalanche eliminated your Coyotes 4-1 in the first round of the playoffs, while the Avalanche and my Tampa Bay Lightning advanced to the quarterfinals. So, Matt, just really quickly, your take on your commercial that you're going to have to record at some point in time.
Well, I will say this. This is like kicking a man when he's down. In fact, it is indeed kicking a man while he's down, because not only did the Coyotes eliminate the Predators, they also I got knocked out here, had to do that commercial, and then Kyle happens to have the Clippers, who are playing playing number 1 in my heart, the Dallas Mavericks.
That's right.
So for me, it's kind of like a double kick in the nads here.
That it is. But hey, you're as we're recording this and as we're going live on StreamYard and Facebook Live, your Mavs are up 10. Make it 12 early on in the first quarter. So Mavs doing a little bit of work. So
they had 18 turnovers the other night, and they only lost by 6 or 7 or something like that. So
yeah, and that call on Porzingis was pretty
bogus.
Cheap. It's pretty cheap. Speaking of which, and I know we're debating, but I wanted to. Did you watch the Lakers Blazers game last night?
I didn't watch it, but I watched the highlights, and Damian Lillard is a man-child.
He is a man-child, but man, the Lakers almost got away with one when they called a block on LeBron, and it was going to be an and one, and they went back and changed it to a charge, and then the Lakers went on a run there. It looked like they were going to win the game, but I thought that was looked like the refs were having a little home cooking there for the Lakers.
Damian Lillard came through with the three.
He did. That he did. So, again, this is the Dad Debate. We're going to debate a couple of topics here coming up, and we would love for you to interact. So if you're watching, shoot us a comment throughout the show. Let us know what you think about our takes. And then also you can always send us an email throughout the week, dadswatchingsports@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. All right, Matt, in true gentleman fashion here, I'm going to let you take the first crack at our first topic. And to set this topic up, we've got to go back a few days. So your Rangers, the Texas Rangers, were playing the San Diego Padres in a game during the MLB season, and it's late in the game. The Padres were up 10-3 already, and Fernando Tatis Jr. comes to the plate. They get a 3-0 count on Tatis, and he swings away at the next pitch, hitting a grand slam, giving the Padres a 14-3 lead. At that point in time, the Rangers managers and some of their players weren't very happy of it, talking about unwritten rules that if it's 3-0 count and you're that up in baseball, you don't swing at the next pitch. First, I want your take on baseball's unwritten rules. I'm going to go through some of them here in just a second, but just overall thoughts on the unwritten rules of baseball. What's your thoughts on them?
Man, I'll be honest. I don't like all this PC, you got to go to the unwritten rules. I tell you that this is 2020 and people are too soft to begin with. That's why they have these stupid rules. But baseball, that if you don't want them to hit a grand slam on you when you're up big, then pitch them something they can't hit. That's the way I look at it.
Well, so I'm going to go through the quote unquote unwritten rules of baseball, or some of those that most fans are pretty familiar with. So you've got don't steal bases or swing at 3-0 pitches or try to run up the score when you're ahead by a large margin. Clearly 10-3 late in the game being a large margin. Don't steal bases or strut after home runs when behind by a large margin. So if you're the Rangers in that instance and you're down 10-3, if you hit a home run, don't go strutting around because you're still down 10-4. Don't swing at the first pitch after a pitcher has allowed back-to-back home runs is one of the unwritten rules.
Right there, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead.
I apologize. So let's say that it's in the 8th inning and I'm down. I'm playing you. I'm down 8-1. And I've got a shot to break the home run record, or I've got a shot to break some record in my on my team, my division, or whatever, right? And you're telling me that I can't celebrate a personal accomplishment.
Well, I think it just depends on that scenario. I think if it's the scenario in which you're talking about, I think that's probably acceptable. But here's my thing. You look at those unwritten rules of baseball, and I won't bore our listeners with reading the rest of them. But really, the objective of these rules is respecting your opponent and kind of being the professional. I think if you're looking at amateur sports, college sports, and these types of things happen, and people said, oh, that doesn't matter. It's the unwritten rules. Who cares? Well, that's because they're amateurs. But this is a professional league. This is grown men playing. You have to have respect for your teammates. You have to have respect for your opponent. And in doing that and hitting that grand slam, yeah, I agree. It's the pitcher's job to get him out. But in a 3-0 count, why are you swinging for the fences when you're already up 10-3? And I think it's just a lack of respect for the opponent when you're doing that. And I think that's why the Rangers got so mad.
I think it's just playing the game, and I think it's playing until the whistle, or until the bell rings, or in this case, until the fat lady sang, and she just wasn't quite into a singing mode yet. So I completely disagree with that for sure.
Well, again, man, I look at the game of baseball and everything. I feel like anytime we've talked about baseball and Dad's watching sports, it's been about baseball, the tradition. It's America's pastime. It's got, we talk about the steroid era, and it's just baseball is a historic game. It's kind of the gentleman's game. It's the game in which people respect their elders. People respect the rules. People respect this and that, although the Astros hadn't recently. So again, I think that the unwritten rules, you got to go by them, because again, it's not showing respect for your teammates or your opponents when you're doing that. And again, they're up 10-3. Why did he need to swing at a 3-0 pitch when you're up 10-3?
It's also disrespecting the game, and it's not doing the people that paid, which in this case, there's no fans in the seats. But in normal years, there are people in the seats that paid money to see you play. And there could be a kid in there that his dream is to see you hit a home run, and then you don't hit it because you're up big and you can't do it because of that situation. Well, I hate to say it, but life ain't fair, and you played until the final whistle blows.
All right, so a couple of other unwritten rules I want to get your takes on then, because I'm in 100% agreement with these unwritten rules. Don't bunt when a pitcher is throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game, and then I'll get your take on that one first, then we'll go to the next one. What do you think about that? I mean, if a pitcher is in the middle of a perfect game or no-hitter, let's say deep into the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, and somebody comes up to bunt, to me that's pretty bush league.
It's not bush league at all, because you're doing everything you can to win the game. If it's a close game and you need to bunt, if you're trying to get yourself out of a slump and you put one down.
Yeah, but I'm saying in this instance, if it's not a close game and all you're doing is just like you just said, trying to get in a hitter, but you've got a guy going for a no hitter in a game, you don't think out of respect you need to not lay one down, 2 feet in front of you to try to get away with it?
No, I don't think at all. I think that you play until the final whistle blows, Michael. And I tell you what, if you're pitching against me and you get a no-no going, all is on.
Well, I don't think so. All right, the last one I'll give you, and then we'll move on to another topic here. For adult fans, the unwritten rule is if you catch a foul ball, you don't keep that. You give it to a kid nearby. My take on that is, without a doubt, you give it to a kid nearby. You're a grown man. You don't need a baseball. You don't need to go back home with a souvenir and say, oh, look what I got, a foul ball. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares that you got a foul ball. You're 35 years old. Nobody needs that. You give it to the kid beside you. You make their day. It's much more important than them. Stop reliving your glory days. Give the kid the ball.
Well, I, for one, am not 35. I am only 32, so I'm keeping that foul ball. No. And I'm telling that kid that he better get a little higher next time.
Well, you're going to get the brunt of everybody sitting around you when that little kid's like, please, mister, I want that ball. And you're like, no. I need this to go sit in a closet in my mom's basement for the rest of my life, instead of giving it to this kid and making their day.
Look, all right, Michael, look, I know that you watched Friday Night Lights, right?
I did.
Do you remember Mr. Vince Howard?
I do.
His dad?
Not overly familiar with Vince Howard's dad from Friday Night Lights, but I'm sure you'll bring something to my memory.
Well, he said that this is grown man stuff. When he's talking about he had some little pills he was trying to sell to get his kid a jacket. I'm keeping that ball, and this is grown man stuff, little kid, so I'm going to keep it.
No, it's not grown man stuff. You got to give the ball. And what have you recently picked up on Friday Night Lights watching that again? How did you remember that?
I have been. I like to keep it for background noise while I'm doing stuff.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, you pulled that one out of nowhere. All right, well, those watching and listening, let us know what you think. Baseball's unwritten rules. It's a pretty hot topic there in the sports world. A lot of people on polar opposites of the spectrum, whether they agree with it or whether they do not. So we want to hear from you. Let us know what you think about the unwritten rules of baseball. Again, man, I can't believe you'd keep a foul ball from a little kid. That's crazy.
Look, man, all I got to say is I've got a 1-year-old at home, and that ball's going to her.
Oh, no.
So it's going to a kid. It's just not going to a kid that's there at the game that should have been a little bit more assertive and came and tried to fight me for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take this for example then. You're at a game in 5 years there with your daughter, and then a situation happens where she wants to catch a fly ball or a foul ball, and she's about to catch it. You aren't able to get to it, and a grown man steps in, catches it, and he says, no, I'm not giving it to you.
Then I'll tell her, I'll say that this is what happens when people are assholes.
No, not at all. You will be hell-bent on making sure that fan gives that to your daughter. So
no, not at all.
All right, Matt, let's move on to topic number 2. Earlier this week, we got our first peek, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen, of the Toon Squad jerseys from Space Jam 2. LeBron, I don't think that's actually LeBron. It looks like a digitally imposed LeBron rocking the Toon Squad aqua and orange jersey. And then, of course, you got the traditional MJ rocking it from, I believe it was 1996, which is hard to believe. So obviously, this movie hasn't come out yet. I think it doesn't come out till June of 2021. So we got to wait almost a whole year for this. But Matt, initial thoughts on Space Jam 2 versus Space Jam the original?
I'm going to Space Jam 2 because for me, I'll tell you this.
I'm shocked. The way you talk about LeBron James, you have no respect for LeBron James, and then you're going to come out and throw his name and say, hey, Space Jam 2 is going to be so much better than Space Jam 1.
Who's LeBum? Who's LeBron? I'm talking about LeBum.
Yeah.
I think I like Space Jam 2 better because I like the supporting cast in this one better. I like the Monstars, and I think that LeBron is going to get beaten by the Monstars. You got Klay Thompson, you got Damian Lillard. I can't remember who the big man is, but there's a big man too. I believe it's actually. Oh yeah, it's AD. Yeah, so and Kyrie Irving. So you got these guys that are coming in here that that LeBron had basically had to run to win a championship, and he's going to try to beat them with the Looney Tunes. That ain't going to happen.
Exactly, it's not going to happen, and that's why it's not a good movie, and it won't be better than the original Space Jam. So let me tell you why the original Space Jam will blow this movie out of the water. Let me start with the most obvious. Michael Jordan is better than LeBron James at everything, including acting, including getting Bugs Bunny and the Toon Squad ready to go. You mentioned the Monstars. Okay, yeah, AD, Damian Lillard, I believe Diana Taurasi is one of them. Okay, they're great supporting cast, but you've got Charles Barkley, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, and Sean Bradley, without a doubt, just from a comedic standpoint, is so much better than the Monstars from Space Jam 2. One of the trumping reasons, without a doubt, Matt, if you don't remember, a co-star from Space Jam 1 for Michael Jordan. Do you remember who one of his co-stars was that made a pretty famous appearance?
Mr. Bill Reynolds. Or I don't mean Bill Reynolds, but Bill Murray. Bill Murray.
That wins it for Space Jam alone, that Bill Murray is in the original. Then you've also got, what kind of, every good movie out there has got an awesome song that goes with it. And it doesn't get any better than R. Kelly's I Believe I Can Fly. As that's going, Jordan reaches out, his arm extends 3 feet, 6 feet, 9 feet, 12 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet. All the way, dunks it in and defeats the Monstars. And you've got R. Kelly and the choir singing in the background. There is no way, shape, or form Space Jam 2 will be better. The uniforms are worse. Bugs Bunny, I didn't even know he was on TV anymore. I didn't think they were, but he's back. But, yeah, there's no way. No way.
I think that the graphics of the modern movie, the different technology they're going to be able to use is really going to push it over the top on this one. Now, I do think that LeBron is not going to be as good of an actor as Michael Jordan was because he's not better than Michael Jordan at anything. But he probably can't even tie his shoes better than Michael Jordan can.
All right. So you said the graphics. If the graphics are going to be better, they've got to be because the acting's not going to be as good. The gameplay's not going to be as good. The entertainment's not as good, without a doubt. For that.
Did you see those jerseys, man? They're sick looking.
They look awful. Is exactly. Jesse, give us how we doing, boys? Well, Jesse, we're talking about Space Jam 2 versus Space Jam 1. Let us know how you fall on those lines. I go Space Jam 1, the OG, the original Michael Jordan, all the characters as well. You got Chuck, man. It doesn't get any better than Chuck. He'd look at Space Jam 2 and go, "That's terrible, just terrible."
I don't think so. I think he's going to say that Space Jam 2 is better because LeBron James is going to get beat.
Well, that very well may be true. All right. Again, if you're out there, let us know what you think Space Jam 2 versus Space Jam 1. Matt, we're moving into our final topic of the show here, and I'm very excited about this. I thought, it's playoff time for the NBA. There is no better time for us to say, okay, if we had to choose a starting five, now this could be any player on any team that's in the playoffs currently. Your starting five has to be a point guard, shoot guard, small forward, power forward, and center. We'll go one by one. we'll start with our point guards. I will go first, and then we'll toss it to you, and then we'll switch up throughout the time that we're doing this here. So NBA playoffs starting five for me. Number one, my point guard, I'm going to your boys, and I'm going Luka Doncic for the Dallas Mavericks. My man had 42 points against the Clippers. I know it was in a loss, but you said yourself they kind of gave that game away. And without a doubt, he's tied, in my mind, as being one of the most exciting players in the NBA right now in the playoffs, probably with Damian Lillard, because both of those guys are just on fire. But my point guard for my starting five, I'm going with your boy, Luka.
So I just want to make sure I got this right. We can pick any player from any position to play any position on the floor?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, well, because
I mean, I would say traditionally they need to be the positions that they play.
Well, yeah, I guess you could call him a power forward. He's more of a point guard. He's more of a point forward.
Well,
but
he plays he plays the point for him.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go with the other guy you mentioned here, Mr. Damian Lillard.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
He averaged 56 points over 2 games is what I'm saying. And he hit that dagger three. He's got the clutch gene going. He's on fire. And I think that he is going to lead them to the NBA Finals. Okay, so point guards, we got Luka versus Dame. I feel like that's a pretty entertaining matchup there, probably a push there. All right, now I'm going to you for your shooting guard. Again, you can pick any shooting guard left in the playoffs. Who you got? I'm taking Mr. Donovan Mitchell from the Utah Jazz. Okay, switch it up on me there. That was actually who I was going to pick as my shooting guard. But what I will do instead of that is I will go with the player that he is going against in that series, and I'll go Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray is a better scorer. Donovan Mitchell has had just unbelievable first couple of games in that playoff series. But I think at the end of the day, the more all-around player in that series going head-to-head, and plus one of them went to Kentucky, one of them went to Louisville. L's down for Donovan Mitchell. I'm going with my boy from UK, Mr. Jamal Murray, lock and loaded on the, whatever you call that thing. On the bow and arrow? The bow and arrow. There you go. That's what I was looking for. All right, small forward, Matt. When I look at small forward, there's only one answer here. Was the MVP of the finals last year the best defensive player? Because if I look at my team, they're kind of offensively driven, so I need a stopping force defensively. So my small forward, I'm going Kawhi. I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Please forgive me if I mispronounced it there, Giannis. Well, he's listening. I know that he's probably watching a little film, listening to the show as the Bucks are down 0-1 in the other 1-8 matchup. So, all right, so we've got point guards. We've got Luka versus Dame. 2 guards. We've got Donovan Mitchell, Spider versus Jamal Murray. And then small forwards, we got Kawhi versus Giannis. Man, this is shaping up to be quite the battle. Who you got at your 4 spot, the power forward spot? Number 4, I'm going to go with the man who made his living at this position in the internationals, and his name is Carmelo Anthony. Anthony. Carmelo. Well, Matt, here's the thing, man. If this was the 2005 NBA playoffs, 2006 NBA playoffs, 2007 NBA playoffs, 2008 NBA playoffs, any time before maybe 2017, I'd say, yeah, that's a good pick. Carmelo, absolutely. But let's be honest here. My man is not the Carmelo of old. He doesn't have the legs anymore. He is not the player that he once was. And there's no doubt that my player is much better than him, and that's because he's about a decade younger than him. My player at the power forward position is Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics. He's averaging 32 points and 9 rebounds in their series against Philadelphia. Celtics are up 2-0. He's the best player on what I think is the best team in the East, even though they did lose Gordon Hayward for a couple of weeks. I think the Celtics are going to be right there. So I got Jayson Tatum, and they would dominate, and I mean dominate, against Melo. Melo can't play any defense. All he does is stand out of the wing and shoot corner threes. It'd be well, I'll say this about the guy that you're claiming to be awful and all and washed up. He's still averaging 15.4 points a game. Yeah, that's exactly almost half of what Jayson Tatum is averaging. So that's that's because Jayson Tatum is the star, where Damian Lillard's the star. Carmelo doesn't even start. I don't think.
Exactly. So why are you? No, he doesn't start. You know who started over him? Winion Gabriel. Shout out to the former Kentucky Wildcat getting the start. My man Winion coming in. Yeah, Melo, man. I am shocked by that pick. I can't believe that.
You got to have some veteran leadership, Michael.
Yeah, something like that. That's what you bring Melo off the bench. You don't put him in your starting five. All right. Okay. So the center position, Kyle or Matt, excuse me. I am going back to the Orlando-Milwaukee series. Again, shocker. Orlando got the first win, and I'm going Nick Vucevic for the Orlando Magic. 35 points, 14 rebounds against the Bucks in the first round. And my man dominated, and he did it from everywhere. He did it in the paint. He made the jumpers. He was just pushing the ball up the floor, helping the Magic push the ball up the floor, and just dominated the Bucks on the inside, which was surprising to see. So who you got as your center?
I'm going to go to your Denver Nuggets that you were given. You were drafted, and I'm going to go with the Joker, the expressionless Joker.
There we go. All right, so give me your entire starting five there, Matt.
Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Giannis, Melo, and Jokic.
Melo. For those of you listening out there, Melo in his starting five. Oh, man, this is too easy. All right, so that starting five up against the team that would actually win in the starting five, I've got Luka, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi, Jayson Tatum, and Nick the Quick down in Orlando. Matt, you guys don't stand a chance. Don't stand a chance.
I hate to break it to you, but I got one matchup here that's going to dominate, and that's that Giannis versus Kawhi matchup.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be the decider.
That will definitely be the decider without a doubt. And unfortunately, we won't ever get to know who would win that, but we'll keep a tabs on how those players are continuing on and in the playoffs.
Well, I do have NBA 2K20, Michael, and I'm very happy to set this up in the park.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You should set it up and do a simulation, and let's see who wins.
Okay, all right. So I need you to text me who you have then, and I'll do it.
I will. Absolutely will. Everybody stay tuned for that because Matt's going to post the results on our social media account once he has the simulated results of our NBA starting five. Matt, we've only got about a minute and a half here really quickly. I want to throw one more topic out there. I know we usually say 3 topics only, but we're going a little OT, a little overtime. Lakers and Bucks, the one seeds both go down. Who is in more trouble, the primetime LA show or Milwaukee?
The Lakers by a long shot.
And why do you say that?
Because they're playing against Damian Lillard, and they're going to go down. And they, in my opinion, I think that this layoff really hurt LeBron and AD. It made them it hurt their shot.
Well, and the Lakers are without a couple of players too. I don't know if people remember that. Avery Bradley's not playing. They've got a couple of guys that Trevor Ariza that decided not to participate in the bubble experiment. So
here we go. More excuses for LeBum.
No, I agree. I mean, I think they're going to be right there. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. All right, Matt. Well, there we go. 3 topics, 2 dads, 1 winner chicken dinner, without a doubt, over here in the Draper household, no matter what Matt's name says.
No.
But we want to hear from you guys out there. Let us know who you think won the debate. Let us know what you think about Carmelo making Matt's top 5 and about Space Jam 2. It won't even be out in a year, but we don't care. It doesn't matter because it'll never be better than the original. Matt, we'll see you on Dad's Watching Sports on Sunday, my friend. And this has been the Dad Debate. We will see you guys later. Y'all take care. Take care of each other. Have fun. And, we'll see you later.
Bye.